Sorry, I'm just setting up my phone here so that I don't have any distractions while we're on the phone. But yeah, I was able to answer some questions that I haven't actually thought about in a long time. So for me, it was great. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yes, sir. Yeah, more recently, I think just the exposure. Obviously, the game in the United States is a bit different. So for me, it has been getting that network. So I got scouted. I've been on trials and stuff like that. So I went to California. I got scouted by PSC Academy. They're kind of like famous a bit for their trials and stuff. Yeah. So I played with them in their club team for 2 years, and I played with another UPSL team in California, Flash FC. So I met the founder actually of the UPSL league, and he started a club out there, and I played there. Um, but yeah, the biggest thing for me recently has just been getting in front of the professional coaches and getting that feedback. Um, yeah. Um, I don't know how else to like say, but it's just I've just found that like getting in there, like I feel like I'm always just looking on the outside, you know? So for me it's like getting in there and actually like maybe getting a training session with the actual professional clubs or something that has been like I haven't gotten to that point yet, you know? That's a great question. Honestly, I'm still trying to figure it out. Yeah. 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 I would say, well, obviously, I've been, like I said, I was in California and I was training every day, and it was an environment that I felt like I can definitely work on. Yeah. This was, mm, this was a bit before the pandemic and a bit after the pandemic as well. Yeah. Right. Right. I'm sorry? Yes. Yes. And then, yeah. No, and then I just wanted to say um, I was training as well with Landon Donovan's club that he started out there, San Diego Loyal. So I went out for a trial there, and they gave me some feedback as well. They said like, "Yo, you should probably look into USL one or USL Championship teams." So that was great, you know. So can be at a competitive level, you know. So for me, it's like um, getting that playing time at a level that I feel like I can make an impact in a team. I'm usually on a club that is like either my level I think is not like I'm better than most people on the club and it's not challenging enough for me, or like I feel like I'm not where you know where I feel like I should be, you know. So I haven't really found the club recently, at least, that I feel is a good fit that I can like come in and make an impact. Yes, UPSL. and PSL. Yes. Right. Even more recently, like the club like I'm on right now. It's Philadelphia Lone Star. It's also UPSL. Um, but because I just moved out here, they put me on like the reserve team essentially so that I can work my way up. And for me, it was like I've already done all that, kind of like proving myself, you know. And I feel like if I had an agent who can vouch for me, I wouldn't have to kind of feel like I have to prove myself for another coach. You know what I mean? So for me, yeah, getting that highlight tape, getting that professional profile out there to coaches, I think is what has been lacking, essentially. Man, I just haven't found any agents. I I've, I've tried to contact, a few people, but always just either it's too good to be true or like they just promise a lot and they don't deliver. Um, yeah, well, we know coaches here. We know, we're in contact with these coaches, and when you find out, it's like usually like, oh yeah, they expect you to pay a fee up front or something, or like, which is fine, but like then they don't deliver, or the coaches that they're bringing, or like coming, that they know are not, um, I guess it's like from Iceland or something, and I don't know. It's just never been a great fit. Yeah, for sure. Right. Yeah, no. I think so. I went to college in New York, and then I graduated around like 2020. Does that sound right? No, I played. Yeah, I played club in college. It wasn't at the like D1 official team, so that's what lacked me back as well. And actually, to correct that, 2023, I believe, is when like my college year ended, and that was right around COVID. So I went to California right before that time. Um, yeah, is that when COVID is? Yeah, is that when? 2020? Okay, I'm sorry. It was all blurred now. Yeah. Uh, yes, yeah. So 2020 is 2020 is when I went to California. There you go. And 2020, right, 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 right. Yes. And that's where essentially I just like I made because okay, I'm back up a bit more. I'm African, so like values for like an African family is you got to go to school, you got to get your education, stuff like that. So for me, I respected that, and I lost my dad really early, and my mom, her one thing was like, look, to make your dad's wish for you, like come true, you have to do this, and for me, I just wanted to make sure I did that college process and I got my degree to kind of fulfill my obligations to my family. But after a while, I realized that I can't live the life that my family wants me to live if my passion is here. And so, actually, because COVID kind of stopped things, I actually moved to California right before I got my degree. And so that was like the 2020 part. And so, like, I finished my degree online while I was in California, and I was there for about two, 2 years. And then, COVID kind of shut things down. So that's where I think I kind of like fell back a little bit more in terms of just reaching out to more colleges, reaching out um, to more clubs. I mean, if that makes more sense. Thank you. Right, right. Yeah, absolutely. So while I went out there, so they were FIFA, PSC academies. They have like a FIFA license agency. So they did. Yeah, 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 yeah. They had their PSC academy. They had the UPSL team where you get to train with the team pretty much full time, and then maybe once every 2 to 3 months they'll bring out the coaches, and you're already in game shape. So, you get to try out in front of the coaches while you're in that mentality. So yeah, PSC. Yeah, absolutely. It was great. I got good playing time. I have drills, highlight tape from that as well. But I didn't get signed, which was very unfortunate. But I did get a lot of. I got feedback. In terms of the offers, I'm really not sure. I'm not sure. I could have sworn because again, that it goes into the whole over promising and under delivering type of a thing. I don't know if it was anything to do with me or with the coaches, or sometimes the team just doesn't need the position. I'm sorry. No, yeah. I don't think they necessarily over promised anything, but I do. You know, I don't think they overpromised anything. They did what they said they were going to do. They brought the coaches out. So maybe, it just wasn't, the team just didn't need a player like me. So I have to take, like, I don't know, some clubs don't need forwards. I'm a forward. So I'm just not sure. But maybe I just needed to develop a little bit more, and so I really don't know. So they did have kind of like, again, that goes into, I'm not sure if it was just a business thing. They did have like trips where they take the some players did take the trips to like Europe, to Portugal, and different clubs in Europe where they get to train against other clubs in Europe, professional or D2 type of clubs. So, but also that was like you kind of had to pay for that. So, you know what I mean? So, like, right, 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 right. Yeah. At the moment, it was just that I couldn't afford to take that trip, especially since I moved my whole life from New York to California. Um, I just didn't have the money in my budget at the time to make another investment, I guess, to go to Europe at the time. So yeah, I think because I did get offered to go on the trip as well, so it's not like the opportunity wasn't there. So yeah, it's hard for me to. No, I'm sorry. I was just saying it's hard for me to put a point on that. Yes, absolutely. Um, out of yes, yes, at the time, because like I said, I went out to California pretty much on my own. I moved all my stuff by myself, and so it was like I was already stretching myself thin, and with all that being said, like it was kind of harder even more. So, um, but out of the all the players, there was some great players, but I also, you know, was playing very well as well, and I had the coach's trust. Um, so, yeah, I think at that moment it was just the affordability aspect of things, and just I guess I guess in hindsight, if I understood like obviously the opportunity that it was, I would have found any single way to like pay for it. But I just didn't have the means at the time. I didn't know how to make it work. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So PSC they moved to Arizona, and I started playing with another club called Flash FC, which was the founder of UPSL. He started a club for expansion, and then that club was again the exposure was great there. We trained against the United States national team, and so the exposure was definitely there. But they didn't have the agency reach in terms of like exposure to other clubs, right? So yeah, I think that's the only hiccup on that part. So over the past few years, higher quality opportunities. Honestly, I just don't know. I don't have that network yet. Yeah. It's not. That's a great question, and to me, I'm always trying to figure out how to get those higher quality opportunities. But honestly, I don't know. Yeah. Yes. It has definitely impacted me in terms of how I see myself because I definitely believe I'm worth a lot more. I know my friends in France right now. I have a friend in France right now who's playing as well. He's playing Division One, and like so like um, he just moved to a new team. I forget the name, but Br- um, is it France or Sweden? But he just moved to a new team. But because he was playing with D2, and then he just got an agent that moved him to a different club. So I only say that just to say like I don't know if it's just that I'm not in the right country or I'm not looking at the right opportunities or I'm looking too low. You know, I'm just not sure. No, he's from France. Right, right. Mm. Honestly, it's representation. For me right now, it's the representation. Mm. That's a great question. I've never really. pondered that enough, because yeah, I really that's a great question. That's something I need to look more into because yeah, yeah, right, right. I found a list online. I've reached out to maybe just in the last couple of months. I reached out to maybe five, and I've maybe talked to like two. Just uh, nothing really. Just send me your information, and then I send it to them, and then it's just like crickets, pretty much. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, for me, this is what I want to do for my life. So not having that network and not having the respect that I deserve, um, I've resorted in like trying to just trying to just create my own path for myself, whether it's online, whether it's creating a profile for myself online and stuff like that. But the professional aspect of it and having a professional team behind me, either way, I think if you're going to be a professional, you need a team. So yeah, it's definitely been a weight on my shoulders for sure. And it more and more it just feels like it's harder to see myself like as a professional player without that representation. Right. um, yeah. It's obviously been hard, but for me, like I'm not stopping, so I don't really necessarily have a choice. So for me, it's just like respect or not, I'm gonna just keep finding a way. Like for me, I believe the best to the best just find a way through. So yeah, it's been definitely difficult, but it's a it's a journey for me, and like yeah, I'm just saying it that way. Like for me, it's this is what I've this is like the cross that I've chosen to carry. So whatever comes with it, I just find it's my task and my obligation and my responsibility to get through it. So that's just how I see it. Yeah. 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 Um. So just I don't know, just the fire has never stopped. I've met some great people, and I've changed my mindset into like an abundance mindset and like not looking at what I lack and like just using what I have every day. So for me, that's the switch that has happened. You know, falling into a bit of like um, just like just I also am a personal trainer as well. So just having more of a business mindset and like understanding that I can sustain myself. You know, before when I moved to California, I just didn't have any like money, so to speak, right? Like, so for me now, I have like a little bit of stability that I can kind of, take care of certain things. Yeah, right. Man, I love it, man. I don't know how else to say it. This is, I've never stopped loving soccer. Like for me, it has given so much to me, and learning every day through the sport for me is like a school. I don't know how else to say it. So for me, it's like I don't know. I don't have another choice. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like I gave myself a window of like I'll try. Essentially, I asked myself this: are you willing to give the same amount of time to college? Like I went to college not necessarily being happy about the decision. Obviously I learned things while I was there, but I essentially asked myself, am I willing to give the same amount of time to myself and to do the passion that I love to, you know, that keeps me alive, that keeps that fire burning within me? Am I willing to give myself the same amount of time with zero guarantee of success, zero reward? And the answer has always been yes. And I wake up every day and, just knowing that nobody else is going to be willing to do what I'm willing to do, um, you know, and I would probably be called all kinds of names, weird, why are you doing this, da 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 da. So for me, it's like, are you willing to do that? And the answer has always been yes. So after, even after I left California and I'm recently in Philadelphia, I asked myself again, like, are you sure? Like, so for me, it's just like, am I willing to take another year and work on this every single day? It's like, yeah. So I think that's the mindset switch flip that has happened for me. And then also, when the more I work on myself, the more I work on my game, the more I work on my like training. When I'm training, I'm like, yo, I'm actually getting a lot better. Like I'm way better than what I was before. So, these coaches, like they might have seen what I was before, but every day I'm training and I'm working on my stamina, my technique, my ball control, all these things, and you know, I always believe I can get better as well. So the like seeing myself while I'm doing the things that I'm doing has also been a good, you know, marker on the fact that it's not just a game. And also now I want to be not just a soccer player. Like I want to be a face that's out there. I want to be able to like market myself. I want to, get sponsorships and all these things. And like, so that mindset switch has been major for me because now I'm no longer just trying to play soccer on the field. I need to be like selling stuff and out there and like be a commodity, So be a brand by myself as well. So that has been the switch that most recently, um, like that's been the switch for me. I think. Right. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Man, I would be. I don't even like looking back at it. Um, I really don't like looking back at it because everything happens for a reason. Um, but I would probably be playing division. I would probably be in the Premier League or, you know, in PSG or uh, Italy. Division. Um, because that's just how dedicated. I like. I love this shit. So yeah, I believe it. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't make me like love my family, but I had to do what I had to do, and I also again that's why I say I don't like looking back at it because I think a few of the things that I learned over that period are gonna translate, and like I'm gonna learn how to be a better business person, and who knows, maybe over that 9 period, maybe I messed my business up completely. And, now I'm still healthy. I don't have any injuries, like some people, they quit their sport because they have a bad knee injury or something. So that's just, that's just how I look at it. It's just like I've learned how to really work out while I was in college the whole time. Although I was only playing club for a Division 1 college, I was also always in the gym constantly um, playing soccer still. So, um, I just take the good, everything that's good that comes with it. And yeah, I still believe, even till today, I still believe I can help a few Premier League teams. I'm not just saying that. So, right. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. 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 I was born to do this. um, I'm alive when I play. It puts everything into perspective for me. Like, you know, I get so much joy from it. Like and really all I'm asking is to be able to just have the space to compete against myself every day. So for me, it's like I get to push myself every day, and I get to like develop every single day. And to me, there's no price I can put on that. Um, yeah, I don't know how else. Everything about me, even if I don't play, like I still am always, whether it's watching soccer, like it's always been a part of my life that it would haunt me so much that I didn't go after it. Especially, I'm 6'5", and I'm like fit right now still. So just knowing that I had a chance to go for it, I don't want to be that uncle that's like, oh, I would have, like, if you knew me back in the day, I would have done that. Like, to me, that would eat me up, and I wouldn't want to look myself in the mirror if I knew that I had the chance. And ultimately, that's it. I don't want to live a life of regret. That's, you know, like, so win, lose, draw, I'm just going for it, and I'm taking that. I didn't really understand what it meant to be a professional actually early on, and professionalism and showing up every with that like real mentality of like I'm going for it, and I think that's what I've developed now, and I've seen some of the best players that I've played with, and they didn't have that mentality, so they got success very early and they took it for granted. But now, I believe I'm at a higher level than they were, even though they played at MLS. They're still not, they're not playing right now. So well, 6 to 12 months from now, realistically, definitely my level is at least a USL championship. I believe I'm even an MLS quality player, but I would 6 to 12 months from now, a, and this is just realistic for me, like at least a D2 club in Europe, I believe would be a good fit. That would that would be kind of like the heavens opening up and angels singing. that would be uh, that would be like all the 4 a.m., 5 a.m. workouts. That would be that culminating in one. But I know the work is never finished, so it would just be, it would be a great. It would be me kind of seeing that I'm not crazy, I'm not delusional. So yeah, it would change my life. Yeah, yeah, no, it would open their eyes to what is possible. It would inspire so many people as well. I think because, like I said, I'm not just trying to be a soccer player. I have a mentality as well that like, I'm trying to bring the people I love with me. So yeah, it would change. It would change not only the way people saw me, but I think it would change what they thought was possible for themselves as well, and just the resilience because everybody, most people around me, they know that this is what I do and this is, but they've kind of started writing me off as like, well, God, man, you're 28. Like, come on now. Like, you know, you should just do that personal training thing. And, I kind of just have to put my goal and my dream somewhere in a small box and just keep it safe where nobody else can touch it. But yeah, if I were to accomplish that, um, it would let them know that, you know, I was serious and I am serious. Right, right. From figuring it out on my own, I don't think I could figure it out on my own. I think that's also part of the task. Is like, am I resourceful enough to find people who believe in me? Like yeah, because I don't think even the best of the best. I don't think Messi does it by himself, right? Messi has an agent. Messi has a team behind him. So I think part of it as well is figuring it out on my own. The only on my own part is how to find other people to be on with me on that journey. So I think that's the figuring it out part on my own. It's like can I go find people on my own? you know? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Um. Hmm. What I'm looking for in a team, just great structure. Just great structure in terms of at least um, once a month, just new opportunities. At least at least just fresh opportunities, fresh eyes. Just new ways of looking at things. Yeah. Because I think always like more brains and the more people you can get in a room with and just talk and figure out more solutions. I think people are super creative. So for me, it would be the structure and like because even with BSC, what they did was amazing for me because I had a set schedule every week that you know you're gonna be here, you're gonna be here. We're gonna videotape you. We're gonna your training sessions are gonna be videotaped and when the coaches come, like so there was good structure in that sense because you kind of knew that if you come and you're ready, this is what's gonna happen. If that answers your question. Right. Right. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I think the next team, and I also saw the links that you sent. A history of like working with players that have like I know Yannick Bolasie was one of your top clients. So like that history and that branding and being able to say like we've done it before and we can do it again for me is massive because yeah like you can always duplicate history, you can do things again. So for me it would be that like just knowing that it's not I'm not just gonna train because some agencies also they kind of have you go in a different country and you're just kind of playing soccer and there's no end goal. So for me it would be like a good pathway. Yeah, that's it. A pathway of like yeah. Um, yes, exactly. Honestly, I'm just waiting to for you to tell me because right now I'm just an open book and I'm willing to listen and learn. So um, yeah, again the proven track record. There's nothing better than history to prove what you're gonna do as well. So yeah. So the history for me is also big. Right. Right. Yes. Yeah. 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 I mean, it would just, it would not, it would be, it would not feel good. It would be frustrating. Yeah, it would not feel good. It would feel like I let myself down. No, I couldn't settle for that. Um, I'm sacrificing right now a more lucrative career. I could be doing like IT security or something, but I decided to do personal training because I knew it was part of, you know, athletics and sports, and you know, obviously I don't think soccer will ever like leave my life. Um, so if a year from now it's still in the same if I'm still in the same situation, I would feel like I let myself down because you know, either I'm not pushing the right buttons or I'm not doing enough. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't feel good. Right.